Hi guys, let's have a look at September Girls from the Trinity Grade 1 Electric Guitar Syllabus. Okay, cool little song this. I think the most important thing to do to begin with is just have a look at how to play those chords and move really kind of efficiently between them. Okay, so when you do your A, obviously just a standard A, you're going to strum 5 strings. You're going to use first, second and third to do that. When you go up to the G, you have two options. You can either use second, first and third, okay, and you strum all 6 strings, or you can use third, second and fourth, okay. I do that quite a lot because then it just means that when I'm coming back, I'm just moving into that D quite smoothly. You could even do it like this, second, first and little finger, and then the third finger is already sitting over the D. Now, you are not going to be marked on the technique unless the technique is affecting the performance. So whichever way you decide to play those chords in terms of fingering, that is your choice. You will not be marked on that. But if the way you are playing it is not smooth, you're cutting the chords short, or you're taking too long to move between them and then you're going out of sync with the backing track, you're going to lose marks. So you really should practice to a metronome. Or you can download kind of an app where you can slow or speed up the backing track or full mix. Sometimes it's really useful to practice the full mix, okay? So, but here you'll be going on these first ones, making sure you're strumming the right number of strings, okay? So if you don't read music, look at the tab and make sure that you're strumming 5 strings for the A, 6 for the G, and 4 for the D, okay? That's really important. You're going to be going through that. Now, when we get into the verse, we can be more kind of clever about how we do this. Moving from the D to the A, I would just be sliding the third finger down and then moving into the A. And then I would definitely do my G using 2 and 1 and either 4 or 3, don't care which one you do. But then when I move to the E minor, I'm going to keep down what I would call like a pivot finger. So we're going to keep the first finger on and then pivot round and put the second finger down behind it there on the 2nd fret of the D string to get that E minor. Now when I move between those chords, we've got a nice D shape, slide into the A, shift to the G, and then pivot on the first finger to get the E minor, and that'll make those transitions easier. Rhythmically, you're just doing crotchets in the verse for the whole of that first page, which is page 30 in the book. When we're moving over to page 2, when you get this slightly different pattern, you've got this. Okay, you're going to do downstrokes for the crotchets, and then you're going to do down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, when you've got that 6 quavers followed by a crotchet. I just want to quickly show that on the whiteboard. So, crotchet, crotchet, another crotchet, another crotchet. So that's the first bar, okay? And you're doing D for 2 beats, A for 2 beats, and then you're going to move into G. 5, 6. You're going to do 1, 2, 3. There we go. We'll do it like that, followed by a crotchet. Now, the way you would count this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, and the way you would strum it would be down, 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 and then when you do 1 and, you're going to go down, up. Now the down stroke is indicated by what looks like a hurdle, okay, or half an H maybe, and then the V, okay, that's your upstroke, so towards your face, and you would do that for all of those quavers to keep it nice and smooth, and also for the feel of the song, to be honest. I don't think you should be doing all downstrokes there. If you're doing something a little bit more indie and rock and hardcore, then probably all downstrokes would be great, but in this case I would do down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay. The other way, instead of counting it, if you wanted to use words to try and get your rhythms right, you would go T, 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 coffee, 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 tea. One of the markings that is really important to understand is this. So what you see for the next 2 bars is you see the bar lines like this, but then over the bar lines we get 2 dashes. It's almost like, you know, like a divide. in maths. Okay, and then a 2 above it. That literally means you're going to repeat exactly the same pattern that you played in the previous 2 bars. Okay, so you're going to go D, D, A, G, 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 G. D, D, A, G, 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 okay, and so forth. So just be careful of that. The rhythm in the bridge, I do think that's worth just quickly talking about. So let's just write that out. Here you're going to go crotchet, and this is on the A5, okay, so you're only strumming 2 strings. We'll play it in a minute. Followed by 4 quavers, bar line, then you've got a quaver, followed by a crotchet, followed by a quaver, followed by a minim. Now, instead of calling them quavers or crotchets, you could call this an 1/8 note, you could call this a quarter note, you could call this a half note. That's what we would do if we were a drummer, or actually if we're kind of over in America, a lot of the time that's how it's taught. And actually it makes a lot of sense, because if you're in 4/4, okay, this could be called a whole note, and it lasts for 4 times quarter note beats. If we change this and we put a line, that will be a minim or a half note, and that lasts for 2 quarter note beats. If we fill this in, it's now a quarter note or a crotchet that lasts for 1 times quarter. And of course then you're going smaller. Let's say you got this. This would be an 1/8 note, so obviously you can have 8 of those in 4/4. So it kind of makes time signatures a little bit more obvious when you're talking about them. Anyway, so the rhythm here would be T, T, coffee, 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 and T. That's how I would say it. Or 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 3. So the 2 is silent. This is 1 and 2 and 3, 4. But you're not going to say the 2. So you're going to go 1 and 3. 1 and 3. And obviously you don't say the 4 because a minim lasts for over 2 beats. So let's just quickly play through those little bits just to make sure that it's obvious, and then we'll just have a listen to the playthrough. So we've gone over the chords and how to change those. That rhythm in bar 12. Coffee, 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 tea. Tea. Tea, coffee, 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 tea. Easy. Bridge. For me, it's not a quick piece. It's probably going to be easier for you to just do downstrokes on that. And just remember to acknowledge the dynamic marking here, okay? So it's mezzo piano, MP. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 3. Okay? Your solo, I think if you are using an amp like a Boss Guitar or something where you can have all the effects and you can have a boost pedal all set up, that'd be great. If you haven't got that, it would be worth just keeping the volume down slightly on your guitar and then rolling it up for that solo. Yes, it's forte, but because it's single notes with open strings, there's only so much volume you can get. So I will put a boost pedal on at that point. Okay, so rhythmically, coffee, tea, 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 and then a whole note, okay? I would be playing in second position, so I'll be going open and then first finger on my second frets, third finger on that F sharp or fourth fret of the D string in the next bar, first finger on that A second fret of the D string. Okay, that would make it nice and easy. If you've got a reverb pedal as well, if you're able to use your feet to coordinate at the same time as playing, you'd have to practice that before you do your videos. Then have a go at just boosting up the reverb a little bit. You'll notice I do that when we do the playthrough. A little thing just to quickly mention, we've probably done this if you've watched some of the other videos, we've gone over a lot of the kind of elements of music notation and rhythmic notation and stuff already, but at the end of line 3 on page 31, so the second page of this piece, there is this marking, okay, so it goes D.S al coda. Now, you've got to be really careful here, because what you're not doing is you are not just playing through to the last line. What you're actually doing is you're going back to wherever you see the S sign. And in this case, the S sign is kind of a big S with a sideways dash and then 2 dots. And that's found at the beginning of the verse, which is bar 4, or the first bar of the second line on the first page of this piece. So you're going to finish the third line on page 2, and then you're going to jump all the way back to the beginning of the verse, play through all of that, next 2 lines, and then you're going to do the first 4 bars of page 2. And then what you'll see is 2 coda, and then it looks like a kind of gun target. At that point, at the end of bar 13, 14, at the end of bar 15, you're going to jump from bar 15 all the way down to the last line, where you suddenly see this marking again and the word coda. Okay, and then you play the last line. Don't forget, above the last D chord is a fermata marking, that's a pause. So as we've said in some of the other pieces, just let that chord ring on longer, listen to the track. As it fades out, you fade out. Okay, so don't just stop it immediately after 4 beats, because that's not what it wants you to do. So use your ears, listen to the track, play with the track. There are not that many dynamic markings in this piece, but we should just quickly mention them again. I know we've said a couple of them. MF equals mezzo forte, okay? That just means moderately loud. That's where you're going to start. Get rid of that one. It means you get rid of the mezzo, which just means F means forte, which means loud. When you go into the bridge, it's MP. Okay. So opposite of forte now. Still mezzo, but mezzo piano. Moderately quiet. And then you're immediately loud again for the solo. Okay? So, pretty cool. When you go back to the DS, I would drop back down to mezzo forte, because that was the original dynamic marking. And then in the coda, you're going back up to forte on the third bar of the coda. Anyway, I think that's all the information we need, isn't it? Let's have the playthrough.
September girls do so much. I was your butch, and you were touched. I loved you, well, never mind. I've been crying all the time. December boys got it bad. December boys got it bad. When I get to bed late at night, that's the time she makes things right. Ooh, when she makes love to me. Ooh. September